My name is Chris Bentley, born and raised here in Palm Beach County, more specifically Riviera Beach. Had an opportunity to go off to the University of Central Florida for college. Stayed in Orlando for about 5 years, where I was actively involved in student government and also participated with the Florida delegation in Tallahassee. After working in student government, came back down to West Palm Beach, where my mom opened up the Safe Haven Community Resource Center Incorporated, which is a local nonprofit whose aim is to provide community resources, education, wraparound services for the Riviera Beach community and abroad. After opening up the Safe Haven Community Resource Center, I then moved to New York City, where I worked in community relations and governmental affairs, where I was charged with overseeing community benefits for an expansion project for Columbia University. After leaving New York, had an opportunity to travel to LA a little bit, and then ended up coming back down to West Palm Beach about 1.5 years ago. Growing up as a child, my parents, they have childcare centers, and that's the business that we've always grown up in. And I always say children, they're cute. There's a lot of support around children, and of course, they need the guidance and the nurturing. The homeless community is a community that really talked to me, really because living in New York City and seeing homelessness at such a large level, going to LA, seeing homelessness at such a large level in LA as well, and really understanding the population, seeing some of their challenges, and realizing that they have potentially put themselves in a place that without the support of the community, it makes it really difficult for them to get out of. It was interesting when I first came back down here and we started the Live Fresh Palm Beach County initiative. I had the opportunity to do some outreach in Lake Worth, and it really touched my heart because I saw a gentleman who was in my 8th grade class, star of the basketball team, and when I was doing outreach, he was out there seeking the services that we were providing. And it really touched my heart in a very, very special way to know that this was an individual who had the same launch pad as I, who had some of the same opportunities, but because of life and circumstances that may have been in his control or may not have been in his control, he's now found himself in a situation where he needs the assistance of someone who can help. So for me to have been blessed my entire life, never had to experience homelessness in a traditional way, but to really have the empathy for someone who is not afforded the bare necessities. We live in a world where luxuries have become our necessities, but when you look at something as fundamental as a shower and you're not able to do it on a daily basis, the thought of that really resonated with me. And for me to have the opportunity and the means to assist, I felt that I had no choice. I was in New York City, and I was riding in the car with a friend of mine who's actually from West Palm Beach as well. He's a filmmaker, and he was at NYU pursuing a master's in film at NYU while I was at Columbia, working at Columbia University. So really, while riding and really exploring homelessness in New York City, he came up with the idea, why don't we come up with a mobile mechanism or a way for showers to be brought to individuals. So really, it was just that seed planted, and a couple of months later, we began to put it into action. But as our niche, Live Fresh Palm Beach County, we offer showers and personal hygiene essentials. So each person that comes up to the trailer, they'll check in, and when they check in, they'll answer a small questionnaire that gives us a little bit of demographic information. And then from there, they'll move on to our hygiene table, which has a kit that's prepackaged with a washcloth, it's prepackaged with a towel, it's prepackaged with soap, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, a comb, a brush, and mouthwash. So once they get that, they go into our 30-foot facility. Our facility is equipped with 6 individual restrooms. They have 3 on each side. Each restroom has its own shower, its own commode, and its own sink and changing area. So a person takes their personal hygiene essentials into the restroom, they take their shower, and then they come out, and then they have the option to go to some of the various partners that we'll have out there. So we'll have Genesis Community Health, which is an organization nonprofit here in Palm Beach County that offers access to healthcare to individuals that wouldn't traditionally be able to have it. So our goal is, and one of the things we first talked about when we first started, is how much information we want to get. Information, it does two things. In my opinion, it does two things. It better equips our organization to grow. It better equips us to expand. It gives us an opportunity to really be able to have educated conversations when we're talking to the various stakeholders, going back to specifically community and advocates, and even government, being able to give them concrete information. This is the demographics of the homeless community. This is where they've come from. This is the impact that this program could have on Group A, Group B, Group C. So it's good for that. The other thing about gathering information is it creates sometimes a barrier between the individuals we're talking to and our organization, because they're a very at-risk population. They're a population of people who sometimes feel ostracized, who sometimes feels that individuals are out to get them as opposed to out to help them. So there's really a balance on the information. For us, we make it optional. But what we're asking for is name, we're asking for their age, we're asking, are you a veteran? Are you currently married? Do you have any children living with you? And when was the last time you had an opportunity to take a shower? So that's the information that we capture from them. I will tell you, one of the things I was surprised about is the mere fact that this is, in my mind, something that's needed. In my mind, is something that is helpful and beneficial. In my mind, is something that the county should not be without. So I almost wish I would have been more equipped with the reality, and it's tough out here in life. So there are a lot of circumstances that really have people bogged down with issues that immediately touch them. So really, me walking into this philanthropic space, assuming that everyone's heart will be open to my objective, it was really an eye-opening experience for me to really understand that there were different phases or different groups of people. There are going to be people who want this and thinks it's great, and that's Group A. You're going to have people who have questions, and to be able to answer those questions and make them understand the situation. And then you have Group C that just wants nothing to do with it. And really understanding that Group C's point is just as important in the entire spectrum, because they're part of this community as well. And having the fire still fueling you on this side, and realizing that once Group C sees the results of what this program can do, they'll have the same feelings that Group A and Group B have. But really, I kind of walked in it blindly, because I'm like, it's a good thing, everyone's gonna love it, it's new, it's hip, it's trendy. And I'm not gonna say it wasn't a ordered process, because honestly, I didn't have to struggle as much as a lot of organizations, or Live Fresh Palm Beach County didn't have to struggle through this process a lot, because doors were open for us in a very supernatural way a lot of times. But it wasn't as much of a blind love as I was expecting coming into it. What I would tell a young man or an individual who is looking to do something selfless, I would say definitely go for it. Like I said earlier, if you have something you're passionate about and you're willing to put in the work to get it done, it will happen. It's not going to be easy. Nothing's ever easy. And I actually read this book not too long ago called The War of Art that talks about the power of resistance. And whenever you're destined for something great, there's this natural force that naturally pushes against it. And it's almost the law of nature. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. And the laws of force going one way, there's going to be equal force going in the opposite direction. So it's the same thing with life. And unfortunately, the more passionate you are for something, the bigger your fire is, the more resistance you're going to have. But just know that it's a process. Just like when we look at the people who train in our military, the conditions they're in are very bad. It's hard work. It's being able to endure very unideal situations. And once you're equipped to deal with unideal situations, when you're put in a situation where it's now ideal, you can persevere through anything. So I say all of that to say, if the road gets tough, take that as a benefit, because it's equipping you to now be able to deal with something in a time where you either need to dig deep and be able to push through, or you're now able to propel because you're in a great place and you've had the foundation to get you there. I would say social media has been literally one of our biggest assets in this process. Facebook has given us the opportunity to really connect with the community. There are many different fronts, or there are many different players in this from our standpoint. We have government, we have community, and we also have advocates. So our homeless advocates, we're able to tap into various networks. There's the Continuum of Care Board, there are different boards at the county level, the municipal level. So we're able to tap to our advocates very easily. With government, it's picking up a phone call, it's going to county commission meetings. But our biggest constituency is the community at large. So the best way for us to really tap into them, get their input, give them information on our program, is through social media. And through Facebook, we've really been able to take a program that has started just a short period ago and really kind of manifest throughout the entire county by way of social media. So you can get in contact with us through a variety of ways. You can contact us on Facebook at Live Fresh PBC. So that's facebook.com/livefreshpbc. Our website is www.livefreshpbc.com. You can reach us on Twitter, twitter.com/livefreshpbc. And lastly, we have a donation center where we call it our Live Fresh Palm Beach County Impact Center. And that's a place that's located at 1250 Old Dixie Highway, Lake Park, Florida, 33403, and that's suite number 1. Again, that's 1250 Old Dixie Highway, Lake Park, Florida, suite 1. So those are the ways in which you can get in contact with us really at any time. If you look on Facebook, we have an 18-minute response time. So we're very good at getting back to individuals if they do have questions. And lastly, feel free to email us at info@livefreshpbc.com. Thank you.